A real revolution and national riots could break out in the United States of America while the United States Senate is preparing to announce another shutdown. And it's all because of yet another killing by Trump's immigration agents. Yesterday in Minneapolis, federal agents fatally shot a man during an immigration operation, marking the second civilian death recently. According to the United States Department of Homeland Security, Border Patrol agents opened fire supposedly in self-defense. When the man approached them with a pistol, the passerby did indeed have a gun, which was perfectly legal, but the man himself did not approach the agents. At the same time, in some videos it is clearly visible that the man was already unarmed when the shooting began. In this episode, we'll analyze who was right and how lawful the actions of the immigration and customs enforcement agents were. Nevertheless, the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of the state called for an immediate halt to federal immigration raids. Meanwhile, Democrats in the Senate are promising to block the budget until they receive a report on the actions of the immigration and customs enforcement agents. It is also reported that the Democrats are refusing to sign the documents. The document concerns government spending on the Department of Homeland Security, which includes the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. As a result, the United States government may partially shut down as early as January 30th, and real protests may erupt in the streets, since even Republicans no longer support such migration control measures from Donald Trump. I'm Alex C. Pecci. Let's explore this topic together. But before we start this episode, I ask you to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and leave any comment under this episode. Subscribe to my Telegram channel Pecci News using the link in this video's description. We post breaking news there as it happens. So, in the United States of America, an immigration officer has once again killed a civilian during an immigration and customs enforcement raid, and this has sparked a wave of protests because the person killed was once again a United States citizen. The White House is defending the immigration and customs enforcement agents, claiming that the person killed allegedly threatened the agents with a weapon, therefore they say it was self-defense. Trump's opponents say that this is a lie and that the agents killed an innocent person, while the Democrats have even stated that they are ready to shut down the government until immigration and customs enforcement agents are removed from the streets. Let's talk about all of this now and break everything down. An analysis of the video from the scene shows how a federal immigration service officer actually takes a pistol away from Alex Pretty right before the police shot him. In the video filmed by eyewitnesses, you can see one of the agents reaching into the crowd of other officers who were trying to restrain Pretty and taking out the weapon. In the video, you can hear officers shouting that he has a gun as an unidentified agent reaches for Pretty's waistband while the crowd of officers tries to restrain him. Just over a second after the officer pulls the weapon from the man's waistband, a shot is fired, followed by at least 9 more shots.
What did you just do? What did you just do? What did you just do?
Oh damn, what?
They freaking looked at me, man.
The video shows that the officer who drew his weapon had nothing in his hand before he approached Pretty. But there's a nuance here. From the video recordings, it's not clear at all whether the officer who took the weapon from Pretty immediately informed the others that he was taking it, or if the police still thought he was armed. About a minute after the shooting, while Pretty's body lay motionless in the street, in one of the videos you can hear another officer asking where the gun went, and the officer who took the weapon comes over and replies, "I took that gun." In her statement, the spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, Tricia McLaughlin, claimed that the officer opened fire on Pretty out of fear for his life. Here is her quote. The officers tried to disarm the suspect, but the armed suspect put up fierce resistance, fearing for his own life as well as the lives and safety of his colleagues. One of the agents fired shots in self-defense, and now things really start to get crazy. In none of the videos is it visible that Pretty had a weapon in his hands, but at the beginning of the incident it is clearly seen that he is holding a mobile phone in one hand. But now the WAIS is hinting that it wasn't a phone, but a pistol. It later turned out that Pretty is a United States citizen and has the legal right to carry a weapon. What's also striking is the number of bullets fired at the guy who was already lying on the ground, another 10 shots. But let's go back to the very beginning of this conflict. In one of the neighborhoods in South Minneapolis, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives agents were conducting an operation, and this sparked a wave of protests. Basically, that's already to be expected. In the video, you can see how Pretty, a 37-year-old man who worked as a nurse in the intensive care unit at the Veterans Hospital in Minneapolis, is standing with a phone in one hand and using his other hand as if directing traffic. When the federal agent is talking to other passers-by, Pretty stands in place and shouts to the officer, quote, "Don't push them onto the roadway." Jak pusta! Then the officer approaches Pretty. Again, not Pretty to the officer, but the officer to Pretty, and pushes the woman standing next to him to the ground. Pretty steps between the agent and the woman, and the agent ends up spraying Pretty with pepper spray, knocking him down and dragging him along the ground. 6 more agents run up to them, and they all push Pretty to the ground. Pretty is already on the ground, but one of the officers hits him several times, and after that one of the officers pulls something from Pretty's waistband. The video clearly shows a pistol. He runs away, and then another officer shoots him.
Continuation.
To be continued, to be continued.
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 Follows.
Continuation.
Continuation.
To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued. These are 2 stores. He was told that he was clearly preparing for something. But what is striking is how the Trump administration, without trial or investigation, already declared the deceased guilty and stated that the officer was 100% right. No investigation has been conducted yet. But this episode will also have political consequences. Congress is on track for a partial government shutdown next week after Senate Democrats promised a continuation, to be continued, after that guy was killed in Minneapolis. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said that Democrats will not now help advance the package of 6 spending bills that is scheduled to be considered next week. If it includes funding for the Department of Homeland Security, Republicans, I should note, will need Democratic support to overcome the 60-vote threshold. More on funding to follow. But this means that we are once again on the brink of a shutdown. Earlier that same day, when news of the shooting in Minneapolis spread, several Democratic senators who had previously voted to advance government funding measures under President Donald Trump. Remember, there was already a shutdown, and now they have vowed to oppose it this time. The Democrats are demanding to cut funding for immigration and customs enforcement and the Border Patrol. And so, Democrat Brian Schatz stated, quote, "I will vote against any funding for the Department of Homeland Security until additional oversight measures are put in place to hold immigration and customs enforcement accountable. These recurring incidents of violence across the country are illegal and lead to unjustified escalation. To be continued with Democrat Jackie Rosen, quote, I consider it my duty to hold the Trump administration accountable for abuses of power like those we're seeing now from immigration and customs enforcement. That's why I will vote against any government funding package that includes a bill to fund this agency, until mechanisms are put in place to stop these abuses of power and ensure greater accountability. To be continued." And it's important to understand that these are the same Democrats who voted for temporary government funding last year when they went against their party's wishes and in a way supported Trump. But now they're refusing to do that. At the same time, the Democrats are proposing to vote for the other funding bills. But in the end, immigration and customs enforcement will be left without funding, so most likely next week we'll have another shutdown. So for now, I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments under this episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.